The Nobel Peace Prize for 2017 is being announced right now. Let's take a look together.
Their weapons. ICAN. The organization is receiving the award for its work to draw attention to the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of any use of nuclear weapons and for its groundbreaking efforts to achieve a treaty-based prohibition on such weapons. We live in a world where the risk for nuclear weapons being used is greater than it has been for a long time. Some states are modernizing their nuclear arsenals, and there is a real danger that more countries will try to procure nuclear weapons, as exemplified by North Korea. Nuclear weapons pose a constant threat to humanity and all life on Earth. Through binding international agreements, the international community has previously adopted prohibitions against landmines, cluster munitions, and biological and chemical weapons. Nuclear weapons are even more destructive, but have not yet been made the object of a similar international legal prohibition. Through its work, ICAN has helped to fill this legal gap. An important argument in the rationale for prohibiting nuclear weapons is the unacceptable human suffering that nuclear weapons will cause. ICAN is a coalition of non-governmental organizations from around 100 different countries around the globe. The coalition has been a driving force in prevailing upon the world's nations to pledge to cooperate with all relevant stakeholders in efforts to stigmatize, prohibit, and eliminate nuclear weapons. To date, 108 states have made such a commitment, known as the Humanitarian Pledge. Furthermore, ICAN has been the leading civil society actor in the endeavor to achieve a prohibition of nuclear weapons under international law. On 7 July 2017, 122 of UN member states acceded to the Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. As soon as the treaty has been ratified by 50 states, the ban on nuclear weapons will enter into force and will be binding under international law for all the countries that are party to the treaty. The Norwegian Nobel Committee is aware that an international legal prohibition will in itself not eliminate a single nuclear weapon, and that so far neither the states that already have nuclear weapons nor their closest allies support the Nuclear Weapon Ban Treaty. The committee wishes to emphasize that the next step towards attaining a world free of nuclear weapons must involve the nuclear weapons states. This year's Peace Prize is therefore also a call upon these states to initiate serious negotiations with a view to the gradual, balanced, and carefully monitored elimination of the almost 15,000 nuclear weapons in the world. 5 of the states that currently have nuclear weapons, the United States, Russia, the United Kingdom, France, and China, have already committed to this objective through their accession to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons of 1970. The Non-Proliferation Treaty will remain the primary international legal instrument for promoting nuclear disarmament and preventing further spread of such weapons. It is now 71 years since the UN General Assembly, in its very first resolution, advocated the importance of nuclear disarmament and a nuclear-free world. With this year's award, the Norwegian Nobel Committee wishes to pay tribute to WION for giving new momentum to the efforts to achieve this goal. The decision to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2017 to the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons has a solid grounding in Alfred Nobel's will. The will specifies 3 different criteria for awarding the Peace Prize: the promotion of fraternity between nations, the advancement of disarmament and arms control, and the holding and promotion of peace congresses. WION works vigorously to achieve nuclear disarmament. WION and a majority of UN member states have contributed to fraternity between nations by supporting the humanitarian pledge. And through its inspiring and innovative support for the UN negotiations on a treaty banning nuclear weapons, WION has played a major part in bringing about what in our day and age is equivalent to an international peace congress. It is the firm conviction of the Norwegian Nobel Committee that WION, more than anyone else, has in the past year given the efforts to achieve a world without nuclear weapons a new direction and a new vigor. Thank you very much.
What is your message to the governments that has not signed the ban, including the Norwegian government?
The message is that this year's Peace Prize is definitely an encouragement to them. And it is an encouragement to continue their obligations under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, where they already have committed themselves to the goal of a nuclear-free world and then in the process a disarmament of nuclear weapons. We hope that with this year's prize we can support the great effort that WION has made in giving new momentum and new vigor to the disarmament debate.
Madam Secretary, is the timing the most important reason why you honor WION this year?
In one manner, yes. Of course, disarmament of nuclear weapons never go out of date. I have drawn a line back to the first UN resolution of 1946. But I do think that there is a popular belief among people all over the world that the world has become more dangerous and that there is a tendency where we experience that the threat of nuclear conflicts have come closer.
What do you say to those who will claim that this is a merely symbolic prize, since none of the nuclear powers are behind the ban?
I disagree in such a criticism because I do believe in that law matters. Laws, international laws and international obligations have in our experience had an effect, as I mentioned in the statement, that a ban was definitely a part of the process when it came to cluster mines, landmines, biological and chemical weapons. The process will not be completed with a ban entirely. WION focuses on 3 steps to stigmatize That is the understanding playing field, and this work that they have achieved in bringing a new vitality into the debate, they are outstanding and therefore have been awarded this year's Peace Prize.
Reuters. Are you sending with this prize, are you sending a message to any particular political leaders in the world? And also, has the risk of Iranian nuclear deal unraveling been a factor in deciding the prize?
Could
Thank you.
Please repeat the last question?
Has the risk that Iranian nuclear deal could unravel been a factor in your considerations? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are sending messages, in fact, to all states, but also in particular to the nuclear weapon states, because it is a fact that states are in a different situation. The majority of the states of the world who have